When a Sigma male goes silent, it's already too late. Stoic life lessons, Stoicism. This powerful idea perfectly captures a moment many of us have experienced when someone's energy shifts so subtly that it feels like a door quietly closing forever. This is what happens when a Sigma male goes silent. It's not about emotional manipulation or silent treatment, it's a deeper, final verdict. Psychologists say that silence can be a strategy, but for Sigma males, it signals a change that's already taken place. By the time you notice, it's too late. In today's video, we'll dive into what happens when a Sigma male goes silent and how this moment relates to the journey of a modern Stoic. At Win Stoic, we uncover the real meaning behind this shift and how understanding it can help you become a true winner in life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Number 1. Mental bridges have been burned. When we talk about mental bridges being burned, we refer to a psychological shift that is often subtle but profound. It's the moment when your mind moves past any possibility of revisiting a connection, relationship, or opportunity. This moment, known as the threshold of irreversibility, is fascinating because it's not accompanied by fireworks or emotional outbursts. Instead, it's a quiet realization deep within, almost like flipping a switch that you never knew was there. The mind stops considering the situation as something that can be repaired or salvaged. The mental bridge that once connected you to someone or something just fades away. For Sigma males, this moment has a unique and final quality to it. It's not driven by a sudden burst of anger or frustration. It's a controlled, almost business-like decision to move on. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. For the Sigma male, this goes beyond seeking revenge. It's not about holding grudges or dwelling on emotional hurt. Instead, they recognize that some connections are no longer worth their time or mental energy. And so they mentally withdraw completely. In their minds, the relationship or situation no longer holds any value, and as a result, the mental bridge burns with the quiet precision of someone closing a business deal. Once a bridge is burned, it's not just about cutting ties, it's about removing any trace of that connection from the mental landscape altogether. Think about a time in your life when you felt the shift, when a relationship that once mattered to you slowly faded into the background. Maybe it was a friendship, a job, or even a romantic connection. Perhaps you felt the moment when your mind stopped considering it as a viable part of your life. Over time, those old connections that once seemed so essential became optional, then unnecessary, and eventually non-existent. This is exactly the experience of the Sigma male. While others might still try to salvage old connections or revert to previous patterns, the Sigma male knows something they don't. Once certain mental bridges are burned, there's no going back. Not because of hatred, but because the foundation that once supported that connection no longer exists in the mind. Take a real-world example of a person who embodies this Stoic principle. Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, was known for his incredible focus and his ability to walk away from situations that no longer aligned with his vision. He didn't waste time or energy on rebuilding bridges once they were burned. For instance, after his ousting from Apple in 1985, Jobs didn't dwell on his past with the company. Instead, he moved forward, founding Next and Pixar, which ultimately led to his return to Apple years later. He understood that once a mental bridge is burned, it's not about revenge or anger, it's about moving on to something greater. This idea of irreversibility in decision-making is also seen in modern psychology. When we face a decision that has irreversible consequences, our brain often goes through a shift and we stop revisiting alternatives. The Sigma male is especially attuned to this shift, understanding that the moment the mental bridge is gone, it's gone for good. In their world, closing a door isn't just about locking it, it's about removing it entirely from existence. So, the next time you face a situation where you know the bridge is burned, don't try to rebuild it. Instead, take the Sigma male approach, accept that some things are meant to be left behind, and that growth often requires leaving the past where it belongs. Trust the process of moving forward with intention, knowing that some paths are meant to be closed for good, not because of bitterness, but because they no longer serve your purpose or align with your journey. Number 2, the respect is gone. There comes a moment in every relationship, whether personal or professional, when the respect you once had for someone slips away. It's not an abrupt moment filled with drama, but rather a quiet shift, a tipping point where something irreversible occurs. For Sigma males, this loss of respect is not just about feeling disappointed or betrayed, it's about seeing through someone's true nature with undeniable clarity. As Bruce Lee wisely said, knowledge will give you power, but character will give you respect. When a Sigma male uncovers the true essence of someone, whether it's a mentor, friend, or partner, no amount of external achievements or charm can bring back the respect that was once lost. This isn't about making judgments or holding grudges. It's more about realizing that what you once believed about someone was just an illusion. Consider a mentor you once looked up to, someone you thought was full of wisdom, only to later discover that much of their advice was merely borrowed quotes. Or a friend who you believed was loyal, only to find out that their loyalty was contingent on convenience. Then there's the partner whose strength seemed admirable, but was nothing more than a carefully constructed facade. Once that curtain is pulled back, and you see them for who they truly are, there's no way to put it back in place. The respect that once existed has evaporated completely, and what remains is a hollow space that no explanation or promise can fill. For Sigma males, this loss of respect doesn't come with dramatic declarations or attempts to expose the other person. They don't feel the need to announce the end of respect or prove their point. Instead, it happens in silence and finality, and the energy changes. They stop investing emotionally, mentally, and even physically into the relationship. The benefit of the doubt, once so freely offered, completely disappears. It's not out of anger or spite, it's simply a quiet, invisible decision to no longer waste time or energy on something that no longer holds value. Others may mistake this shift for distance or aloofness, but in reality, it's something deeper, something rooted in understanding. This is a key lesson in the Stoic mentality. Respect is not earned through achievements, success, or charm. It's earned through authenticity and character. High-value men understand this deeply. They don't respect people simply for what they can do or what they've achieved. Respect is built on trust in someone's core nature. Once that trust is broken, no surface-level changes, no matter how impressive, can ever restore it. It's a truth that Sigma males know intimately. They don't cling to past impressions or try to resuscitate what's already gone. They move on quietly with no fanfare because they understand that true respect is something earned from within, not from what is seen on the surface. So, what about you? Have you ever experienced a moment when respect for someone quietly vanished, never to return? How did you process it? Did you feel the same quiet finality that a Sigma male feels when they realize that no amount of effort can bring back what's already lost? This Stoic life lesson isn't just about how we view others, but how we choose to value ourselves and our time. Once you've seen through someone's true nature, there's no going back. High-value men know this, and they act accordingly, recognizing that sometimes the greatest form of respect is knowing when to walk away and preserve your own integrity. If you've made it this far in the video, I encourage you to comment "Respect is earned, not given" below. Number 3, his peace over explanations. There's a profound moment we all experience in life when silence speaks louder than any words ever could. In today's world, where constant communication is often seen as the key to resolving misunderstandings, silence is frequently mistaken as a passive invitation to explain, negotiate, or justify. But for a Sigma male who has reached a certain point of emotional clarity, silence is not about avoiding confrontation. It's about choosing to prioritize his peace over anything else. In a time where we are pressured to justify ourselves, defend our choices, and constantly explain our actions, silence has become one of the most powerful forms of self-care. Seneca, the ancient Stoic philosopher, wisely stated, "The greatest power we have is the power to walk away from things that threaten our peace of mind." This resonates profoundly in the modern world, where people are often swept up in a cycle of unnecessary explanations and external validation. For the modern Stoic, silence is not merely a passive choice but a powerful and deliberate action. It is an acknowledgement that one's peace of mind is sacred, and it is more important than the fleeting need to be understood by others. The Sigma male, having experienced countless attempts to resolve situations that have only caused mental unrest, arrives at the understanding that silence is the best response. When a Sigma male goes silent, it is not an invitation to engage in a discussion or an attempt to seek closure. It's a firm declaration that his mental space is non-negotiable. Those around him might send long text messages, demanding explanations, seeking clarity, and trying to pull him into a conversation that would only disturb his inner peace. Yet the Sigma remains unmoved. He knows that no amount of talking will bring the clarity others are searching for, because he understands something fundamental: some situations are better left unresolved. Not every question needs an answer, and not every conflict requires a resolution. Silence for the Sigma male is an act of profound self-respect, one that ensures his peace is not compromised by external demands. The Sigma male exemplifies a core Stoic life lesson. True peace does not come from the absence of conflict, but from the presence of clarity and self-respect. It's not about avoiding conflict, but rather choosing which battles are worth fighting. In choosing his peace over the need to explain himself, he demonstrates a wisdom that many fail to understand. Peace is not about making others understand your actions, but about reaching a point where you no longer need others' validation to feel at ease. As the great Marcus Aurelius said, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do, only what you do." The Sigma male knows that no amount of explanation will ever satisfy someone who is not ready or willing to listen. Instead, his power lies in walking away from the need to be understood. He finds contentment not in the approval of others, but in the stillness of his mind. This act is not cold or dismissive. It is a recognition that peace is the ultimate form of resolution. It is a demonstration of self-control and emotional maturity, traits that the modern Stoic holds dear. For the modern Stoic, this lesson is essential. Prioritize your mental well-being above the pressure of others' expectations. The greatest strength often lies in the quiet decision to protect your space and preserve your clarity. Silence is not the absence of strength, but its subtle manifestation. Sometimes the greatest victory is the one where you choose to remain calm in the face of chaos. So take a moment to reflect. How often do you find yourself sacrificing your peace in the name of explanation? How can you, like the Sigma male, choose your mental tranquility over the need for closure? Choosing peace isn't about being passive or weak. It's about recognizing the value of your inner calm. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In the same way, peace is not found in avoiding all conflict, but in reducing the desire for external validation and explanations. When you stop needing others to understand your choices, you gain the ultimate freedom to live according to your values, not theirs. This is the essence of living a Stoic life, a life led by clarity, peace, and unwavering self-respect. Number 4, his decision is final. When a Sigma male makes a decision, it's not just a fleeting choice, it's a final conclusion, one that has been reached after careful consideration, observation, and introspection. Most people make decisions that are open to influence, negotiation, or change. They weigh their options and allow external factors to sway them in different directions. But for a Sigma male, decisions aren't made impulsively or in the heat of the moment. Instead, they are the result of months, sometimes even years, of quiet reflection and analysis. Once a Sigma reaches a conclusion, it's as final as a mathematical proof, without room for alteration or reconsideration. The philosopher Aristotle once said, "Excellence is not an act, but a habit," and this idea perfectly encapsulates how a Sigma male approaches decision-making. It's not just a single moment of choice, but rather the outcome of a long habit of observation, analysis, and understanding of the situation and the people involved. It's easy to imagine someone in your life who has attempted to change your mind, perhaps using guilt trips, promises of change, or attempts at bargaining. These are typical strategies that many use when they sense that someone has already made a decision that excludes them. But for a Sigma male, such tactics are predictable and ultimately ineffective. His decision isn't the start of a negotiation, it's the conclusion of an internal dialogue that has been happening privately, without others even knowing it. This isn't about stubbornness or pride, but about an informed, deliberate choice. A Sigma male doesn't make decisions impulsively. Instead, each decision is the result of months of careful analysis, observing patterns, weighing evidence, and testing possibilities. By the time he makes his choice, every angle has been explored, every option considered, and more chances have been given than most people even realize. This decision-making process may seem cold or detached to others, but it's rooted in a Stoic mentality that values clarity and self-discipline over emotional impulses. When a Sigma male goes silent, it's because he's already made his choice, and there is no further need for discussion. The power in his decision lies in the execution, no dramatic speeches, no ultimatums, and no need for anyone else to agree. His decision has been made with the quiet certainty that water flows downhill not because it's trying to prove anything, but because that's simply the way things must be. It's in this silence that the true power lies, because, as often happens, the loudest statement is the one never spoken. When a Sigma male says nothing, it speaks volumes. It's the moment when everything has been decided, and there's nothing more to add. No appeals, no negotiations, no last-minute attempts to convince him otherwise. It's simply the path forward, the natural course of action that has already been settled in his mind. This finality in his decision-making is not about being closed off or emotionally unavailable, but about living in accordance with a calm, but thoughtful assessment of what is best for him and those around him. And though the world may continue to swirl with uncertainty and noise, The Sigma male remains unmoved, unwavering, because the decision has already been made. This concept of decisiveness and finality is a key lesson in Stoic life philosophy. Stoicism teaches us to carefully evaluate the situation, make decisions based on reason and logic rather than emotion, and stick to them with unwavering resolve. High-value men, especially Sigma males, embody this Stoic happiness by understanding that their power lies not in the chaos of external circumstances, but in their ability to make decisions rooted in deep understanding and clarity. So ask yourself, how often do you make decisions that are truly final? How many times do you find yourself second-guessing or allowing others to influence your choices after you've already made them? In a world that constantly seeks to sway opinions and pull you in different directions, the ability to make a decision and stand by it with confidence is a rare and invaluable trait. By adopting this mindset, you can take control of your life and your relationships, making decisions with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. When you learn to embrace the silence that follows a decision, you will discover that you no longer need to justify your choices to others. The decision itself is your statement, and it speaks louder than any words ever could. Number 5. The exit strategy is in motion. When it comes to navigating difficult situations, particularly betrayal or disrespect, a Sigma male doesn't react impulsively. While most people might respond with a confrontation or an emotional outburst when they feel disrespected, the Sigma male takes a different approach. He's always 3 steps ahead, planning his exit strategy long before the situation ever reaches its tipping point. You think of it like a chess game, where each move is carefully calculated and executed with precision. By the time those who have crossed his boundaries notice that something's different, the plan is already halfway done. Sun Tzu, the ancient master strategist, once said, "Every battle is won before it is fought." This is how Sigma males operate. They don't react in the heat of the moment. They've already laid the groundwork for their exit long before it becomes necessary. For a Sigma male, the exit strategy is not a dramatic, emotional reaction. It's a quiet, methodical process. When pushed past his limits, he doesn't announce his decision to leave or confront others with anger or frustration. Instead, he's already been carefully untangling himself from toxic relationships, reallocating his resources, and shifting his focus to more positive, meaningful connections. You may start to notice subtle changes. Perhaps he's less responsive to manipulative behavior, or slowly withdraws from relationships that have become one-sided. The Sigma male's moves seem unrelated on the surface, but each one is part of a bigger plan, carefully designed in response to repeated violations of his trust. This process doesn't happen in a rush. It's measured, intentional, and precise. Now, when those who've crossed his boundaries start to notice, it may be too late. They might sense a growing distance or find that he's less available. They may realize he's no longer as engaged in the relationship, but by the time they recognize it, the change has already been set in motion. The Sigma male isn't trying to send a message or seek revenge. He's simply executing a well-thought-out plan, ensuring that his exit from a toxic situation is smooth and without fanfare. This is a true demonstration of the Stoic mindset, doing what is necessary without drama, without seeking attention, but with an unwavering commitment to his own peace of mind. The real skill in this strategy isn't the actual leaving, it's in the preparation. By the time the final moment of silence comes, everything is already in place. No need for dramatic gestures, no need for grand speeches or burning bridges. The Sigma male has already quietly removed himself from the situation, leaving behind only what is necessary. and walking away with the stoic happiness that comes from knowing that his boundaries have been respected and his integrity remains intact. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful statement is the one you never make the decision to simply move on with quiet confidence, that knowing that the plan you put in motion has already been executed perfectly. Number 6, he's detached emotionally. Have you ever noticed how it feels more painful when someone stops caring than when they're angry? There's something final, almost unshakable, about the shift from someone deeply invested in you to someone who feels nothing at all. For a Sigma male, this shift is not a moment of anger or shouting, it's a quiet detachment that signifies the end of an emotional connection. As Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you choose to feel about it. When a Sigma male has been pushed past his limit, he doesn't get upset in the traditional sense. Instead, he chooses to emotionally detach. This detachment is not a dramatic reaction, it's the result of repeated disregard for his boundaries or his emotional investment. You can see this detachment in every interaction once it has occurred. The warmth, the care, the deep conversations that once characterized the relationship are replaced with surface-level politeness. It's like watching a fire slowly die out, not in a flash, but over time until only cold ashes remain. This change isn't about trying to hurt anyone, nor is it an emotional outburst. It's a calculated, peaceful withdrawal. For the Sigma male, this is not about revenge or spite. It's about protecting his inner peace. He's given chances, he's cared deeply, but at some point he realizes that not everyone deserves that level of emotional investment. When a Sigma male detaches emotionally, it's not a temporary lapse in feeling, it's a fundamental shift. The change is clear: no more anger, no more hurt, and no more false hope that things will somehow improve. The person who once meant something to him now becomes as neutral as a stranger. This is not a fake or temporary feeling, it's permanent. It's like wiping a hard drive clean. The data is gone, and there's no recovering it. Once the detachment has occurred, there's no getting him to care again. You can't change his mind, you can't revive the feelings that were once there. And most importantly, you can't make him forget why he chose to detach in the first place. This is a key Stoic life lesson. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control the actions of others, we have the power to control how we respond. A Sigma male, living by this principle, has learned the power of emotional detachment. He understands that while caring deeply is natural, there comes a point when you must protect yourself by removing the emotional energy you've invested in people who have shown they are undeserving. This isn't a flaw or a weakness, it's wisdom in practice. It's about finding peace and maintaining stability, no matter how others behave. How do you respond when your emotional energy is being drained by someone who no longer respects you or your boundaries? Do you continue to invest, or do you choose to detach, protecting your peace? The win for the Stoic lies in knowing when to step back, when to cut your emotional ties, and when to protect your inner tranquility. A Sigma male, by embracing this Stoic mentality, walks away with confidence, knowing that he can't change others, but he can always control his response. And in doing so, he wins Stoic happiness, not through confrontation or emotional conflict, but through quiet, deliberate detachment. If you're ready to embrace your true strength and detach from the emotional chaos around you, if you're ready to stop letting others' drama affect your peace, leave a comment below with the phrase, "I control my emotions, not the world." Number 7, he's seen through the games. Do you recall the moment when a magic trick is no longer a mystery? That split second when the illusion is shattered, and you realize you've been deceived all along. For high-value men, especially Sigma males, this realization isn't just a fleeting moment, it's total and irreversible. Once the fog lifts, nothing remains hidden. Robert Greene, the master of social dynamics, brilliantly states in the 48 Laws of Power, see things for what they are, not what they wish them to be. This profound Stoic life lesson hits hard for the Sigma male, as every manipulation, guilt trip, and convenient excuse suddenly becomes painfully obvious. What once seemed like innocent actions now reveal themselves as deliberate tactics designed to exploit. The urgent calls that only surface when someone needs something, the warm messages that conveniently are right before a favor is requested, and the promises made in moments of desperation, these are no longer hidden behind the veil of doubt. The Sigma male now sees the chessboard clearly, every move laid out before him like a slow-motion replay. This clarity brings an unexpected peace of mind, as the once accepted excuses turn into calculated stories, and the so-called coincidences reveal themselves for what they are, mere manipulations. For Sigma males, this insight is a powerful shift. The games that once seemed so elusive now unfold with crystal clarity. The manipulators who rely on these tactics are left powerless, for nothing terrifies them more than someone who sees through their act. The usual tricks bounce off like rubber, their familiar scripts sound empty, and their strategic moves become as predictable as a tired rerun. The curtain is pulled back, the spotlight is on, and the magic disappears. In the end, when a Sigma male has seen through the games, it's not just the person manipulating him that's done, he's done with the entire act. This is the moment of no return. It's a realization that not only alters his perspective on the people around him, but also changes how he engages with the world. The illusions are gone, and so is his willingness to play. If this video resonated with you, consider subscribing to our channel for more content on the Sigma personality and other related topics. Don't forget to hit the like button and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay strong and keep going for the next installment. 7 Hidden Reasons Why Sigma Males Have Few or No Friends. Have you ever noticed when someone's energy shifts so subtly, it feels like a door quietly closing forever? When a Sigma male goes silent, it's exactly like that. Psychologists say silence for a Sigma is more than a strategy, it's a final verdict. Like water freezing, you may not see the change until it's too late. This isn't emotional manipulation, it's a deep, fundamental shift. Jordan Peterson points out that some silences are final decisions. Stick around as we explore 7 things that happen when a Sigma goes silent, and why, by the time you notice, it's already too late to change what's coming. Don't miss it. Number 1. Mental bridges have been burned. There's a powerful moment in the human mind known as the threshold of irreversibility. It's the point at which a person shifts from considering options to making a definitive decision. For high-value men, especially Sigma males, this moment carries a unique finality that many struggle to understand. Imagine burning a bridge in your mind, not with fire, but with quiet certainty. It's not a dramatic outward display, there's no visible smoke or loud flames. Instead, it's the moment when something fundamental shifts within you, and the mental connection you once had to someone or something simply fades away. It's a mental reset, where the pathway that once connected you to a relationship, a situation, or even a goal disappears. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." This powerful quote encapsulates the Stoic life lesson that Sigma males understand on a deep level. They don't seek revenge, nor do they allow anger to guide their actions. Instead, they step away from toxic connections with such precision and clarity that the very possibility of reconnecting vanishes. When a Sigma male reaches this point, the decision is final. It's not about emotionally reacting or holding grudges, it's about making a deliberate, business-like choice to disconnect. What once seemed essential or necessary becomes, over time, optional and eventually unnecessary. This process happens gradually, and by the time others realize something has changed, the mental bridges have already been burned. People might try to rebuild the connections or re-establish old patterns, but for the Sigma male, it's already too late. The foundation of that connection no longer exists. The Sigma male knows something others often don't. Once the mental bridge has been burned, it cannot be rebuilt, not out of spite or malice, but simply because the mental and emotional resources needed to maintain that connection are no longer there. It's like closing a door in your mind and, unlike others who might lock it or leave a crack open, the Sigma doesn't just lock it, he removes the door entirely. In our modern lives, many of us encounter situations where someone or something no longer serves us, whether in personal relationships or professional settings. Have you ever felt that shift, that quiet moment when you know something has to end? It's not about holding on to anger, but about realizing that the connection isn't worth preserving anymore. When you understand the power of mental clarity and detachment, you can embrace the Stoic lesson of peace over prolonged emotional attachment. Sigma males do this with a quiet confidence, understanding that peace comes from within and that some bridges, once burned, should never be rebuilt. So what about you? Have you ever found that moment where a relationship or situation no longer holds any value? Do you continue to invest in something that no longer serves you, or do you make the quiet but powerful decision to walk away and protect your peace? The Stoic mindset teaches us that true strength lies in knowing when to let go, and sometimes the greatest power is in the silence that follows the decision. High-value men know when a bridge is no longer worth crossing, and they move forward without hesitation, embracing a new path without looking back. Number 2, the respect is gone. There comes a tipping point in how we view others, a moment when respect, once lost, transforms into something that can never be regained. For Sigma males, this shift isn't merely about disappointment, it's about seeing someone's true nature with complete clarity. Bruce Lee once said, "Knowledge will give you power, but character will give you respect." Once a Sigma male sees through someone's character, no amount of talent, success, or charm can rebuild that lost respect. This realization isn't immediate, it often comes after moments of subtle disillusionment, where one begins to notice that the respect they once held for someone no longer fits. It's like when someone who you thought was a trusted friend suddenly reveals that their loyalty was only a convenience, or when a mentor you admired turns out to have been using borrowed wisdom all along. A real-life example of this happened with a successful entrepreneur named Greg. He had spent years following a mentor in his industry, someone who had been celebrated as a trailblazer and thought leader. Over time, Greg noticed inconsistencies in his mentor's teachings, advice that didn't quite add up or was too conveniently aligned with his own self-interest. One day, Greg stumbled across an article where his mentor had plagiarized much of his supposed groundbreaking insights from other business leaders. Greg didn't feel angry or betrayed, but the respect he once had vanished completely. The next time they spoke, Greg listened, but felt a growing sense of detachment. No confrontation, no accusations, just an undeniable shift in perception. The trust was gone, and no amount of explanations could bring it back. This loss of respect isn't about anger or judgment, it's more like finally seeing through an illusion. The mentor whose wisdom was just a collection of borrowed quotes, the friend whose loyalty was conditional, the partner whose strength was all a facade, and once the curtain drops, it can't be raised again. What makes this truly final is how Sigma males process this realization. They don't announce it to the world. They don't try to expose others or prove their points. The respect simply evaporates, leaving behind a void that no explanations or promises can fill. This is clearly reflected in their actions, and the energy changes. The investment stops. The benefit of the doubt, once given freely, disappears completely, not with drama or declaration, but with a quiet finality that others often mistake for simple distance. The Sigma male doesn't need to make a public scene or confront the person directly. Instead, they quietly detach and withdraw, allowing their actions to speak for themselves. The energy they once gave to the relationship is no longer there, and those around them may not even fully realize why. To the Sigma male, its simple respect isn't something that can be restored once it's gone. It's not about admiring someone's achievements or applauding their success, it's about trusting their essence, their core nature. Once that trust dissolves, no surface-level changes can ever restore the respect that was lost. This is a powerful lesson, especially in a world where surface appearances often hold more weight than authenticity. For the modern Stoic, it serves as a reminder that respect isn't just about admiration from afar, it's about alignment with truth and integrity. When you place your trust in someone's character and it is shattered, it's a quiet, unspoken decision to no longer invest in them. True respect is built on a solid foundation of trust, and once that foundation crumbles, everything else built on it is simply hollow. The lesson here is clear: don't waste energy on illusions, and remember that real respect can only be earned through consistent, genuine actions. Leave a comment with a powerful slogan that resonates with this idea, such as "Respect fades, wisdom remains." Show that you recognize the strength in moving forward when respect is no longer there. Stay connected, more impactful lessons are on the way. Number 3, his peace matters more than explanations. There's a powerful lesson in silence that many people don't understand, and it's especially true for a Sigma male. People often mistake silence for an invitation to explain, defend, or negotiate. However, for a Sigma male who has reached this point, preserving his peace becomes far more important than any conversation could ever be. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "The greatest power we have is the power to walk away from things that threaten our peace of mind." For the Sigma male, this isn't just an abstract philosophy, it's a deeply practical decision born out of countless attempts at seeking resolution. When a Sigma male chooses silence, it's not because he doesn't care, it's because he values his mental space and emotional clarity above all else. You've probably seen it happen. When a Sigma male has gone silent, others start to panic. They send long messages trying to get closure, they demand explanations, and they try to force a conversation. What they don't realize is that his silence isn't an opening for discussion, it's a deliberate decision to protect his mental well-being. This is not a moment of anger or pride. It's a moment of realization that true peace isn't just the absence of conflict, it's the presence of clarity. Sigma males understand that peace is cultivated internally, and it cannot be achieved through endless explanations or the need for external validation. When a Sigma male chooses peace over explanation, It's not a sign of being cold or dismissive. Instead, it reflects a deep understanding that some situations simply cannot be resolved by talking them through. The Sigma male knows that some people will never be ready to understand the truth, no matter how much he explains. Instead of fighting for closure or struggling to make others understand, he steps away and creates space for his own peace. This decision, while difficult for others to accept, brings him the stoic happiness that comes from knowing he has mastered his own emotions and his own peace of mind. In modern life, this principle is increasingly important. We live in a world full of noise, drama, and constant demands for our attention. It's easy to get caught up in endless debates, justifications, or emotional tug-of-wars, but the true power comes in knowing when to walk away, when to remain silent, and when to choose your peace over any external validation. The Sigma male exemplifies this ability, practicing the Stoic life lesson of focusing on what he can control, his own thoughts and responses. He doesn't need to convince others of his reasons because he's already convinced himself. He understands that no amount of explanation will satisfy someone who isn't ready to listen. The real peace comes not from making others understand, but from no longer needing them to. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is embrace silence, not because you're giving up, but because you understand that protecting your mental space is far more valuable than any conversation. The Sigma male teaches us that true strength lies in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, trusting that peace will always come from within, not from external validation. Number 4, his decision is final. When a Sigma male makes a decision, it's not just a casual choice, it's the culmination of careful observation, analysis, and understanding. There's a significant difference between making a decision and reaching a conclusion. Most people's decisions are flexible, subject to influence or persuasion, and can often be reversed with enough effort or negotiation. But when a Sigma male reaches his conclusion, it is as final as a mathematical proof, no revisions, no changing his mind. Aristotle once said, "Excellence is not an act, but a habit." This is the essence of a Sigma's decision-making process. It's not just a spontaneous choice, but the result of thoughtful reflection built on layers of evidence, observed patterns, and past experiences. For a Sigma, making a decision is not something rushed or made lightly. It's a deeply considered and well-thought-out conclusion. Now, you might ask, how do others react when they realize that the Sigma male has made his decision? Well, the usual responses come in the form of bargaining, guilt trips, or promises of change. People try to persuade him, hoping to reverse his decision, but these attempts are predictable and ineffective. For the Sigma male, the decision isn't just the beginning of a negotiation, it's the end of one he's already been having with himself for months. By the time he reaches a conclusion, he has already considered every angle, weighed all possibilities, and given more chances than anyone ever realized. His decision isn't an emotional outburst or a moment of impulsive judgment. It's the result of a process that is both deliberate and quiet. What's powerful about a Sigma male's decision is the way he executes it. There are no dramatic declarations, no ultimatums, and certainly no room for debate. His choice is made with a calm certainty, like the way water flows downhill, not trying to prove anything, but simply because that's the way it must be. It's in this silent confidence that the power lies. Often the loudest statement is the one never spoken. When it's over for a Sigma, it's over no appeals, no negotiations, just silence and a steady path forward. The Sigma male embraces this stoic mentality, understanding that some decisions are made not to create drama, but to protect his peace and maintain control over his life. The Sigma doesn't feel the need to convince others or defend his choices. The decision has been made, and that's enough. This mindset brings him a sense of stoic happiness. He has found peace in his ability to trust his judgment, make decisions with clarity, and move forward without second-guessing. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you made a decision but then felt the need to justify it to others, or even doubt it yourself? What would it feel like to make a choice with absolute confidence, knowing that your decision has already been thoroughly thought through? The Sigma male doesn't waste time in that space of uncertainty. He acts with purpose, knowing that a decision made in silence is often the most powerful one. So, think about the last time you made a big decision. How did you handle it? Were you confident in your conclusion, or did you allow others to sway you? In embracing the Stoic mentality, you can take control of your decisions and trust that when the time comes, the right path will always be clear, with no need for apologies or justifications. Number 5, the exit strategy is in motion. By the time those who have pushed too far notice something's different, the plan is already halfway complete. Unlike most people who react to betrayal or disrespect with immediate confrontation, a Sigma male's response is more calculated, like a game of chess where every move has been prepared long before the final play. As Sun Tzu, the master strategist, wisely stated, "Every battle is won before it is fought." Sigma males embody this principle to the fullest when they've reached their limit and are ready to exit from toxic environments or relationships. For most people, betrayal or crossed boundaries elicit emotional outbursts or dramatic confrontations, but a Sigma male's approach is different. Those who pushed him too far will see only the silence, unaware that he's already been systematically untangling himself from toxic connections, redistributing resources, and creating new pathways for his life. His plan is in motion, and by the time his silence becomes apparent, everything has already been put in place. The Sigma male doesn't react emotionally, he simply withdraws with purpose. He sees subtle changes that others may not notice at first: less engagement with manipulative behavior, quiet withdrawal from one-sided relationships, and a growing distance from those who repeatedly disrespect his boundaries. These moves may appear disconnected to the casual observer, but for the Sigma, each one is a deliberate response to the repeated violations of trust. He doesn't rush into these decisions. Every step is meticulously thought out. And by the time others begin to realize the changes, it's often already too late. Those who took him for granted might sense that he's less available. Those who took advantage may notice his engagement dwindling, and those who betrayed his trust may feel an increasing distance between them and him. However, few will connect the dots until the exit has already been executed. The Sigma male's strategy doesn't rely on dramatic gestures or grand statements. His true skill lies in the preparation and execution of his exit strategy, which is far deeper than the mere act of leaving. He doesn't need to make a scene, seek revenge, or try to prove a point. The exit is smooth and calculated, executed with precision and minimal disruption. His power lies not in the act of leaving, but in the fact that long before he ever decides to walk away, he has already planned his route out. This methodical approach to disengagement, rather than being impulsive, reflects the Stoic life lesson: control your emotions, focus on your purpose, and let your actions speak louder than words. The Sigma male exemplifies the Stoic value of not reacting to every provocation. Instead of falling prey to emotional outbursts, he masters the art of emotional detachment, making it easier to handle difficult situations with calmness and clarity. So, how many times have you found yourself reacting impulsively to a situation when a calm, measured approach could have served you better? How often do we let emotions dictate our actions rather than taking the time to plan, reflect, and move with purpose? When the final moment of silence arrives and the Sigma male executes his exit strategy, everything is already in place. No dramatic gestures are necessary, no bridges to burn, just a clean, precise departure that leaves behind no unnecessary drama. This quiet exit is a powerful demonstration of self-control, a key trait of high-value men who refuse to be dragged into the chaos of others' behavior. The true mastery lies not in the leaving, but in the preparation, in knowing when to walk away, and doing so with confidence, clarity, and unwavering resolve. This is the essence of a Win Stoic, the ability to navigate life's challenges with composure and purpose, avoiding unnecessary conflict while staying true to one's values. Number 6, he's detached emotionally. Have you ever felt how much more painful it is when someone stops caring compared to when they're angry? There's something final, almost irreversible, about that shift from deep emotional investment to utter indifference. This is the point where a Sigma male draws a line when he's been pushed too far. He makes a decision that once set doesn't change. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you that matters, but how you choose to feel about it." This mindset is central to the way Sigma males approach emotional detachment. When pushed past his limits, a Sigma male doesn't simply get upset or act out of anger. He emotionally unplugs, disconnecting in a way that few others can understand. The warmth that once existed in interactions fades, replaced by polite, surface-level exchanges. It's like watching a flame slowly extinguish, not in a single gust of wind, but gradually, until all that's left is cold ashes. This detachment is not about being mean or seeking revenge. It's not an emotional tantrum or a sudden reaction to hurt. Rather, it's the result of someone having given too many chances, cared too deeply, and finally realizing that some people are simply not worth the emotional investment. The Sigma male's emotional withdrawal isn't about punishing others, but rather about protecting his own peace. When this shift happens, the change is unmistakable. There is no more anger or hurt, no more longing for things to be different. Those who cross the line now find themselves dealing with someone who looks at them with complete neutrality, just like a stranger. This is not temporary, and it's not fake. Once a Sigma male detaches emotionally, it's like wiping a hard drive clean. The connection, the emotional investment, is simply gone. There's no coming back from it. You can't change his mind. You can't reignite the care that was once there. You can't make him forget why he decided to detach in the first place. This is a key Stoic life lesson, and it's one that high-value men understand well. They know that their emotional energy is precious, and they don't waste it on people or situations that don't serve them. It's not about revenge or holding grudges, it's about maintaining their peace, emotional stability, and overall well-being. The Sigma male embodies this Stoic mentality by choosing who and what is worth his time and energy, and when something is no longer worth it, he lets go completely. Think about it. Have you ever had to let go of someone or something that once mattered to you, not out of anger, but out of the realization that continuing to invest in it was no longer healthy for you? It's a tough decision, but it's necessary for personal growth and peace of mind. When you truly learn to detach emotionally from things that no longer serve you, you're making space for new opportunities, healthier relationships, and a better version of yourself. The Sigma male's ability to emotionally detach is not weakness, its strength. It's a demonstration of self-discipline, emotional intelligence, and a deep understanding of what it means to protect your inner peace. So, the next time you find yourself in a situation where someone has pushed you past your limit, ask yourself, how much emotional energy is this worth? Am I allowing someone to drain me, or am I protecting my peace by making the hard choice to let go? The Sigma male teaches us that the true power lies not in reacting emotionally, but in choosing where to invest your energy, and sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply walk away. You've made it this far because you're committed to mastering emotional control and living with purpose. Leave a comment with the phrase, "I choose calm over chaos," to show you're embracing this stoic wisdom. Stay connected, stronger lessons are coming your way. Number 7, he's seen through the games. Have you ever had that moment when everything falls into place and you suddenly realize how a magic trick works? That instant when the illusion vanishes and you can't believe you ever fell for it? For Sigma males, that moment hits differently. It's total and irreversible. They see through the games, the lies, and the manipulations with a clarity that's unmatched. It's not just an awareness, it's an awakening. As Robert Greene, the master of social dynamics, wisely states in the 48 Laws of Power, see things for what they are, not what you wish them to be. When this truth hits a Sigma male, the fog of hope, optimism, and benefit of the doubt vanishes completely. Everything shifts, and the patterns of manipulation that once seemed subtle or unclear suddenly pop out like neon signs. Those urgent calls that only come when someone needs something, those warm messages that appear right before a favor is asked, and those promises made in desperate moments, he sees them all for what they truly are. He's no longer fooled by empty gestures or carefully constructed stories. Each move becomes as clear as watching a chess game unfold in slow motion, each piece falling into place with precision. This understanding brings a strange peace to the Sigma male's mind. The doubts that he once pushed aside now transform into obvious warning signs. The excuses that once seemed plausible reveal themselves as carefully crafted narratives designed to manipulate his emotions. Even the so-called coincidences begin to lose their charm, showing their true nature as calculated moves made to serve someone else's agenda. Once the Sigma male reaches this point, there's no going back. The illusion is shattered, and he's no longer susceptible to the tricks that others play. This clarity, this awareness, empowers him to maintain control over his actions, his decisions, and his mental state. As Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The Sigma male's thoughts are clear, undistorted by the illusions of manipulation that others rely on. The truth is, nothing terrifies manipulators more than someone who sees through their act. Their usual tactics bounce off like rubber, and their carefully rehearsed scripts sound hollow. Their strategic moves become as predictable as a bad rerun on television. The curtain is pulled back, the lights are on, and the magic show they've been performing loses all of its luster. For the Sigma male, this is a moment of empowerment. He's no longer playing the game. He doesn't need to react, argue, or prove anything. Once he sees through the game, he's simply done with it, and he's done with those who play it. This profound shift in perception is a key Stoic life lesson. Don't waste energy on things that don't serve your peace or your growth. When you see things for what they truly are, you gain the power to walk away from manipulative dynamics. The Sigma male doesn't get caught up in the drama or emotional turmoil that others might bring. Instead, he understands that true peace comes from seeing the world clearly and maintaining control over how he engages with it. For the modern Stoic, this lesson is essential. As you navigate life, relationships, and social dynamics, it's crucial to recognize when you've been drawn into a game that isn't in your best interest. Learning to see through the illusions and manipulations not only brings clarity but also strengthens your resolve, but helping you become a high-value man who remains true to his principles. When a Sigma male has had enough, he's not just done with the person who pushed him, he's done playing altogether. This is a powerful choice. It's a decision to stop engaging with the distractions that others create and to focus on what truly matters, his own peace, growth, and the path forward. The greatest strength, as the Stoics teach us, lies not in reacting to every situation, but in choosing where to invest our energy. The Sigma male has mastered this art, and it's a lesson we can all apply in our own lives to win as Stoics and live with purpose, clarity, and unshakable confidence. If this video resonated with you, be sure to subscribe to Win Stoic for more insightful content on the Sigma personality and other related topics. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with others, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. By subscribing and turning on notifications, you'll stay up to date on our future videos, helping you become the modern Stoic you're meant to be. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay strong, keep evolving, and always strive to win like a Stoic.